Welcome to Face the State. I'm Ariana Bennett. Thank you for joining us. Well, in just a few years, the Midtown area has seen a major transformation into a culinary and cultural hub in the biggest little city. Well, now the main road through Midtown is getting a major overhaul. Regional Transportation Commission Executive Director Lee Gibson is here with me now to talk about that. Lee, thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, this project has been in the works really for quite some time, right?
It has. We've been working on this project for probably over 4 years, working through the planning issues, the engineering design issues, and what we've really strived to do is bring our community together and really look at Midtown, look at how it's going to connect to the university, and then create spaces for pedestrians, for the automobile, for the transit user, and try to create a safe environment where the businesses, as they grow and develop, can really offer the next level of recreation, retail, restaurant type opportunities for us. And more importantly, knit the community and the neighborhood together. You know, there's an exciting residential area on either side of Virginia Street. And so we're really going to create a fabulous place for Reno and Sparks and really help bring the university to Midtown so the administration, faculty, staff, students can all just come together.
So what were the main issues with the layout now that you guys wanted to correct?
Well, I think the thing we really wanted to get at was widening the sidewalks and creating spaces for pedestrians. We heard a lot from businesses. They wanted to be able to offer dining al fresco style. We also have the need to create spaces for the disabled. The entire corridor right now doesn't meet the standards of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and that's something we're under law to correct. So we'll be undergrounding utilities, widening the sidewalks, creating ramps for wheelchair patrons, tactile surfaces for the visually impaired. So it's going to become just a great place for everyone.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. We actually have a rendering of this, part of Midtown on Virginia Street if we want to take a look at that, and if you wouldn't mind just kind of giving us a walk through it. So here we are driving down Virginia Street.
Well, you'll notice immediately that the street's a little bit narrower. That's because the sidewalks have come out. We have eliminated the left turn. In this particular segment, it looks like our little barrier in the center. We're going to stop the left turns. There'll be a roundabout near Mary Street that you can just loop around and come back to. Notice the trees, notice the bulb outs. Again, great places for everyone to go to enjoy, for the restaurants, for the bars, to everyone just come out a little bit more and be able to experience the great opportunities, climate we have. So it's just an exciting, I just like to let the picture sort of speak for itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge difference, definitely. I mean, it just even with the trees, that makes a big difference. The trees are happening, for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then wider sidewalks, which I think definitely will be welcome. Now, this narrower road here, and then the no left turn, what was the thinking behind that?
We want to lower speeds. We want to create a safer pedestrian environment. Our sort of travel time studies show there's really not a significant delay if you have to go to the roundabout near Mary Street and come back north if you're headed south. There's also good, what's really unique about Virginia Street in this area is it's easy to get to. There's a lot of connecting side streets, there's a lot of parallel streets. So our thought was, let's help slow traffic down, let's help create a more pedestrian friendly environment. And so we took the left turn out. That also gave us the space for the widened sidewalks. And one other important part, and this was something we heard strongly from the business community, we've left the on-street parking. So you'll still be able to park in front of or near your favorite restaurant or retail shop and be able to get to it walking. So
yeah,
that's really what
my next question.
That's really what we're aiming to do. And then the transit piece, I don't want to forget that, because a lot of the kids who go to UNR, they don't have automobiles. It'll be a very fast trip from UNR south to Midtown. Just a quick stop at 4th Street Station. Don't have to get off the bus like you do now, and then you'll be there. And we'll actually be looking at perhaps what I call a Virginia Line B, which will come straight down Virginia Street. So that's something we'll look on after we get the project constructed.
And we've heard, talk about having a trolley, for example, go between the university and Midtown, just straight through up and down. Is that something that's still possible?
I think that's something in the long run we're going to take a look at again. Now, one thing we're doing in this project, and this is kind of geeky engineering stuff, but we're going through, and this is a construction that starts soon. We're going to go through and bury the utilities much, much deeper and put them in much stronger conduits. That's the tubes that the utilities go through. Right now, if we were to strip back the pavement and just park a piece of equipment out there, we would crush and stop internet access, telephone access. We want to make sure that those utilities that are deep or go deep down in the ground, so in the future, if someone wants to install a trolley, it won't be as intrusive a construction activity as it will be perhaps if the utilities weren't relocated. So we're going to relocate the utilities for the long term.
That's really interesting. It never would have occurred to me, not being an engineer, I don't know anything about this, that's something you have to consider. Is that something you can do with power lines also, or will those still stay above ground?
Absolutely. The power lines are going underground. You know, if you walk along Virginia Street today, you'll see power lines in the middle of the sidewalk. I've personally witnessed disabled individuals having to go into the street to get around those. And that's a violation of the law. That's a problem under the Americans with Disabilities Act. That's one of the main drivers of this project, is to help correct that deficiency and create that environment for our disabled citizens.
So is the hope kind of to turn this stretch of Virginia Street, and really this happens in downtown as well, into more of a walking area and less of a driving area? Are you hoping to kind of reroute cars to other roads?
I think what we're going to try to do is create more of a direct connection for cars that do come through Virginia Street, if that makes sense. We also want to coordinate with the side streets and the parallel streets. The parallel streets, most importantly, are going to become, Center Street and Sierra Street are going to become our bicycle corridors. So we'll be seeing bicycle improvements coming along there soon too.
Oh, okay. So bike lanes not coming to Virginia Street?
No, we're going to leave the parking there. Virginia Street is the destination. It's not the travel way for the cyclist. So what we want to try to do, working with the businesses, is create bike stands and other opportunities for the parking of the bicycle. I know personally when I ride my bicycle to Virginia Street, I usually approach from a side street, and because I don't want to mix it out there with the traffic and actually the rough pavement. So I tend to know where I'm going and I come in and at it at a side street.
Yeah,
like
it is nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Biking on Virginia Street, definitely nerve-wracking. All right, and then you said slower speeds. Is that just to slow down speeders, or is the speed limit actually going to drop?
Speed limit's going to drop to, well, it's down to 25 now, but with the narrower travelway, drivers will be more alert. They'll be paying attention. We're also going to have a lot of signage warning drivers of pedestrians. That's going to bring the speeds down. One of the things we've done very successfully here in Reno, when we've done what we call a complete street, like Virginia Street, is we've lowered speed limits, we've reduced crashes. The crashes that do occur are less severe, and that's good for everybody. That saves everybody money, saves lives, prevents injuries, and it's the kind of thing we're very, very proud of at the RTC for doing.
So what's the timeline for this project?
Well, we're going to start we're hoping to finish the utility relocations in February. We're going to take a winter break. We'll start the road construction in June and hopefully be finished sometime in the winter before, and this is where it gets really difficult for me because I'm getting old. I think we're going to try to be finished before 19. Up north, it's going to take a little bit longer. Near the university, we have a much more diverse population with respect to the rights of way we have to take, so we'll be looking at relocating some residents. That's going to take a little bit longer because we have to follow the federal laws pertaining to those relocations, but we're hoping to have that finished sometime in late 20.
You're referring to the component of this that's up by the university?
Correct.
Okay. So it's going to be a couple years of construction.
Couple of years
for sure.
of construction.
And now I imagine this is going to be a little bit stressful for the businesses in the Midtown area, especially. Are you guys doing anything for them?
Yes, we do. We have a business program. We're going to be helping buy gift cards. One of the unique applications we're looking at is if you take Uber or Lyft into Midtown to go to a restaurant, we're working to have a half-price sale, if you will. So if you book an Uber or Lyft ride to there, you'll get a 50% off your fare. So we're hoping things like that will help push, keep people coming to a lot of the businesses. You know, one thing I hear from a lot of the businesses up and down Virginia Street is they have very loyal customers. I know I have a couple of places I like to go. I'm very loyal to those places. I'm going to go there irrespective of how difficult it will be. And I think I would encourage everyone to continue patronizing your business. So there's unique things offered in Midtown. One of mine is food. I like Southern cooking, so there's a couple of places I like to go down there. I will continue to go there.
Yeah, there's some great spots in Midtown, definitely. I'm there all the time myself. So this is all fully funded?
It's all fully funded. We wouldn't be going to construction if we didn't have the money in the bank. We're still working through the administrative details on a federal grant, but we're expecting that in the spring.
Okay, and what's the total cost?
Total cost is a little over $80 million right now. So that's what we're looking at for cost.
All right, so what should people who are used to driving in that area or being in that area, what should they look out for? Construction-wise, I know it's probably going to be a bit of a headache.
This sounds kind of, this is my geeky admonition. Follow the signs. You know where you want to go. We all have our favorite businesses we patronize. Just when you get down there, please follow the traffic control signs. Don't get frustrated. Take your time. It's still Midtown. A lot of the businesses will be offering, I think, celebrations of milestones of construction. I think you'll be seeing block parties or just events that will attract people to come see the construction and celebrate it. So be patient, be safe. The traffic control, we're going to have traffic coming southbound on Virginia Street. You know, it's to keep everyone safe. So just be mindful of that. That's your neighbor, that's your friend, that's your perhaps favorite business owner. So just be mindful of that and be patient.
Okay, we have just a little under a minute left. Is there anything else that the public should know about this?
We're very proud at the RTC for our planning process. We've brought a lot of diverse groups together to make this happen. We have a lot of interest in Sparks in this project. We've had a lot of support from Sparks. I've heard anecdotal stories of how people who live in Spanish Springs come to Midtown every day to go to lunch. So this is a regional project. Continue to patronize it as a regional asset, and we're looking forward to a successful conclusion in Midtown next year.
Perfect. All right, Lee, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
I sure
you.
appreciate it.
Okay.
Well, coming up on Face the State, if you need training to break into some of Nevada's most in-demand jobs, there's a program in Reno that might be able to help you. We'll learn more about that right after the break. Good job.